It took the extended Nabhan family 25 years and a lot of donations, support from relatives and help from friends to build, piece by piece, a place to call home. And it took less than a minute for it to turn into ruins.
When our house was destroyed, it was our personal day of Nakba, our catastrophe. It was a shelter for us and my poor little handicapped girls. And now when I look at my house in ruins, it's a total shock for me and my children.
We spoke with the family in what used to be their backyard. On a blanket laid on the ground, they looked like survivors on a drifting raft in the middle of a stormy sea. The children were visibly struggling in 35-degree heat. During the interview, one of the men collapsed and began shaking, suffering from a seizure. 5 disabled people used to live in this house, including Arij with epilepsy and Hanin, who cannot walk. She used to move around in a wheelchair that is now buried under the rubble.
I don't know why they targeted us. We don't belong to any faction. We're a family of handicaps. Maybe they bombed it because my name is Palestinian.
Fortunately, no one was killed in this Israeli strike. One of the relatives got a warning call from the other side of the fence.
I received the call at 5 p.m. from a private number. I answered. They said, "This is the IDF." I said, "How can I help you?" They said, "You need to evacuate the house of Khalid Nabhan." I said, "Khalid's house has 5 or 6 handicapped people in wheelchairs. How could you bomb it?" I was surprised. I thought it was a prank.
The voice on the other end of the line was insistent and said the family had 10 minutes to leave. They didn't dare to take the risk.
The call we had from the Israelis makes you feel that they are humanists and sympathetic, and they use this to show the international community that they care about people. But does destroying disabled people's wheelchairs in an airstrike prove this? No, it does not.
The family has already requested new equipment and medication for those in need. But with the economic blockade Gaza has been living under for years, it's unlikely to be a quick delivery.
This used to be a 4-story house, home to over 50 people, 30 of them children. They became homeless in the blink of an eye. Where to find shelter, where to sleep? The families here now have many questions. But the most important of all is why their residential building was targeted in the first place.
It's not the only residential building hit. According to the local Ministry of Housing, 140 units are uninhabitable after Israel's 5-day shield and arrow operation against the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, militant group based in Gaza. The IDF used over 130 jets, helicopters and military drones to drop 250 tons of bombs on what they say were PIJ strategic locations, launch sites, tunnels and weapons storages. The militant group responded with over 1,400 rockets and mortars.
Preliminary reports say 103 housing units were totally destroyed, in addition to around 2,800 partially damaged, out of which 140 units are completely uninhabitable and need massive work to be lived in again.
It's estimated Gaza will need at least $10 million for reconstruction of the housing sector after the latest escalation, on top of the massive damage from operations in previous years. Until then, hundreds of lives here will remain in limbo. Marif Noshna, RT, reporting from Gaza.